All right, friends, so to make that really warm and cool fire, we're gonna start with a stencil. Now I have numerous of these that are in different ways and number of flames. You can choose whichever one you like best. I'm gonna go with this one. We don't wanna put it at the very bottom of our paper. We wanna come up to about here.
And trace around that. Just to start where our fire goes with this flamey organic shape.
We're gonna come underneath that and we're gonna add 3 circles, which is a geometric shape. Yeah, and if they're not all the same size, you know, that's just not a big deal. Now we're gonna invent 2 flamey organic shapes of our own that go around this one. There's 1 and 2. We want to come in real quick and finish our logs. So we just want to come from there back to the base of that fire with some straight lines to make the sides of our log. We can come into here. Let's just put a spiral to show that wood, the rings of that tree. Nice spiral lines. Then we're gonna take some geometric shapes. Now I'm gonna use circles because I love circles, but you can use any geometric shape. I have some stencils for triangles, squares. It could be whichever one you want. I just like circles, so I'm gonna do that. Now when we place these, we wanna make sure that we're putting them so that they're covering some of the sky or the background and part of our flames. Just like so. Then we're gonna use one of my favorite medias, just a black permanent marker. And the only thing we wanna do with this is outline our geometric shape. So your circles, your squares, your triangles, whichever one you chose. And then we're ready to start with our color. Now, we're gonna do the insides of these circles last. That'll be the very last thing that we deal with. What we want to start with is either the regular background or the flames. I'm going to start with the flames using our warm colors. Then we want to, before we start our color, I know I already started my color because I forgot a step. That's my bad. We want to add 4 lines, maybe 5. We want to make sure our lines start at the flame and go all the way out to the edge of the paper. Now that could be wavy lines or bumpy lines. It could be straight lines. It could be zigzag lines. It could be scalloped lines. It could be any kind of line that you want. We just want to break that up, break our background up into a few sections. So at that point, I've got my warm colors laid into my fire, still not touching our geometric shapes, leaving those empty. We will color those in a few minutes. Now we're gonna take our cool colors and fill in these shapes that we have in the background behind our fire, again, not inside of our geometric shapes. And then with our background filled in, well, except for that little spot that I missed right there that should be purple. I'll get that in a second. Now we're gonna go inside of our geometric shapes and we're gonna switch the colors. So if it's fire, we're gonna make it cool colors. If it's background, we're gonna make it warm colors. And we're getting close to being done at this point. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a neutral color like a brown and color our logs. Now we wanna do the end of our logs with a very light value and the other part of our logs with a very dark value, as we can see here. Now, for all intents and purposes, this can be done right here. However, if you have time, there is one more step that you can do that will really push this just over the top and up into outer space. And that is to outline all of our lines except the ones that are inside of our geometric shapes. Like so. Now, if you choose to do this step, I need you to understand that sometimes, especially when we're using that marker on top of the crayon, the lines are not going to always be super, super black. And that's okay. It's okay. They don't need to be. Just as long as we get around the shape.